is Aaron. I grew up in Brisbane my whole life. I haven't really been outside of Australia. I've only been around Australia travelling for work. As a youngster, I was never religious. My family never ever went to church, and the only things I've heard from my family about religion was the fact that religion starts wars. So, religion, all these kind of aspects of it, I tried to avoid. When I was young, growing up at school, I was kind of on the chubbier side. So, during primary school, I got called fatty, chubby and all that. And during high school, I got called bigger names such as ogre, Shrek. And at first, when you get called these names, it hurts your feelings at first, it does. But then after a while, when you get called this stuff, you start accepting that is you, I accepted I was a Shrek, an ogre. So when people started calling me that, I felt like popular because you could hear it from a distance. So I was like, when someone said Shrek, it was me. But deep down, it was still hurting me, I never liked it. And it brought a lot of insecurities, and these insecurities obviously followed through the rest of my life. When I turned 18, I decided to get in the clubbing scene. Like most 18-year-olds I knew, we all went out clubbing every Friday and Saturday night. So you'd work Monday to Friday, then come Friday night, you spend all your money. By Monday, it's all gone. And you work through the whole week doing the same thing. And this process went on for about 4 to 5 years, and this was just normal to me. But every time I went out, no matter how good of a night it was, the next morning I definitely felt empty. I felt like something was missing. Like I'd go out all night and come home, something was missing. And I tried all different kind of things, and it didn't work. And it brought a bit of depression to me at some stages, I must admit. Like some thoughts like suicide crossed my mind many times. Like, am I being accepted in doing this? So I went on doing this for a while. And at the recent job I am, 2 guys came up to me on separate occasions and preached the gospel. The first guy came to me and started preaching the gospel. As soon as I heard anything about religion, my guard went up. And he told me if the way I keep going, I'm going to find myself in hell. And I was so offended by that, I wanted to fight him. Then a few months later, he finished up on that job. Then the next guy comes in the same spot where he was working, a young 20-year-old, a good-looking guy, and he comes up to me talking to me about the gospel. And I looked at him, I said, why don't you come clubbing with me, man? We'll kill it together. And he said, no, come to church one day. So I took up his offer, invited the girlfriend I was with, her name is Sally, we went to church. And listening to these sermons, I felt like every single one of them was directed at me. I felt like when the pastor Field was talking, he was talking straight into my eyes, So one day I got a message from Pastor, would you like to go to coffee? And I said, yes, Pastor Field, I'd love to. And I'm glad I did, because that coffee date just fully changed my life. He started talking about an identity that I've never heard of in my whole life, named Jesus. He told me about how much Jesus loves me, that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, that he rose 3 days later for my salvation, and that no matter how empty my life will feel right now, or no matter how sad or how depressed it will be, that my final destination is going to be heaven. And all that emptiness that I was feeling my whole life, knowing that it was now filled by this God named Jesus, it just changed my life. And the girlfriend I had, we decided to do a separation. We decided, you know what, if we want to stay together, let's get married. We decided to get married, and until this day, I'm with my beautiful wife, Stella.
You're beautiful too. When I first met Aaron and knew him then, he's a completely different man to the Aaron sitting next to me now. God has dramatically really changed his life, and it's just been such a pleasure. He's been and still is a walking testimony of what God's done in his life. He didn't know it at the time, but I always thought to myself, I want to end up marrying a Christian man. I want to be with a Christian man and have a family with a Christian man. I just always felt that there's some peace that came along with it. I didn't really understand what that was. I wasn't a Christian at the time, but I thought that for the longest time. I myself I came to Potter's House with Aaron, as you mentioned before. I became a born-again Christian. I thought it's funny how God works, because I wanted a Christian man, but he actually changed Aaron and made Aaron what I always believed I wanted to have. So I have a background of a religious upbringing, but it was never Christianity until I came to Potter's House and really understand what Christianity and the faith was, and what Jesus really does for people.
So if you're looking for answers, in life you might be going through struggles and trials or anything, whether you're ups or downs, I just challenge you to come to church one day, hear the word that the preacher is speaking, understand it as well, take your time to get to know it, because I thought my life at times was great, but now every single day I wake up having the gospel in my life, knowing that it's awesome, and I'm just so grateful that I was invited to stop by someone to come to church. And thank you for Potter's House, because they stuck with me and they married me in this church right here today, and we're just so blessed and so grateful that we can be part of this.